gentlemen.
Wild One Radio 24/7 of worldwide music.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hotkey Radio. I am your host, Vakult. I have a pretty special guest here today. He's been running the circuit here in San Diego. Kind of an underground legend, some might say. Our guest here is Phoebe. How you doing, Phoebe?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I've heard quite a few of your tracks. They're pretty cool. You like to blend the traditional house music and like heavier stuff. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I like to kind of explore, different avenues, different ways to approach things.
All right, well, to kick things off, I'm going to start out by playing one of Phoebe's unreleased tunes. Keep your eyes out for this one. Keep your ears out for it. Might be released soon, maybe later. We'll see.
Enjoy.
That was an unreleased ID by Phoebe. Dude, I love that song. The bass writing in it is so cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it sounds like the sub is doing something different than the mid bass.
It is. They're kind of clashing a little bit, but on purpose. They're trying to play off each other. I wanted to keep it a bouncy song, so I wanted to, have them bounce against each other a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. That melody that was playing in there, how'd you come up with something like that?
Really, I'm a big proponent of preset tweaking. So I found this kind of a simple saw preset, and I had an upper harmonic on macro on there. So kind of did a little bit of tweaking to get the upper harmonic how I wanted it, and then just automation, kind of swinging that to make the chords. Really just kind of pitching it by ear as I went along. But yeah, it was altogether pretty simple.
When you go to make a song, do you just tweak a preset till an idea comes out, or do you have an idea going into it?
I usually kind of start with like a palette. I'll create a bus with a couple different ideas in there. Once I usually will use one to come up with a pattern that I like. And then from there, it's really just about, honing in on the sound, what fits the best with the groove and everything else.
Yeah, it's really cool. Everything sounds like super cohesive.
Thank you.
Yeah, that vocal in there, did you is it sampled from something, or did you just find it splice? Or?
It was a found vocal. It was just a long, super long vocal. I didn't use all of it because it was like 7 minutes long. So I kind of chopped it up, and then I took little parts, which you can hear is the rid of that rhythm part, the little vocal call and response there. Just pitched that differently, took little bits. There's also, it's not super noticeable in the second part of the first drop. I use it almost as a hi-hat layer, a little slice of it.
Nice. Yeah, it's one of those that it feels familiar, like I've heard it before, but I haven't. Mm-hmm. It's pretty neat.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, speaking of tracks that are inspiring you, you brought us a tune that inspired this one.
I did. It's a remix of an Imogen Heap song, Headlock by Alexander. Just, found it kind of while letting the algorithm dig for me, and, it really kind of encapsulated a lot of the ideas that I was having going into making this track.
Yeah, totally. All right, well, this is Imogen Heap, Headlock, Alexander edit.
I'm going outside to take it all in. You say too late to start, got your heart in a headlock. I don't believe any of it. You say too late to start with your heart in a headlock. You know you're better than this. in ahead of. You know you're better than this. You've been working, you've been hiding, but you know not a genuine like machines do. Used to go in, just getting it down. So you've been working, you've been hiding, but you know you're better than this.
And that was Imogen Heap Headlock Alexander edit. I can totally hear the influences in your tracks in that one. It's super cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a recent discovery of that song, but quickly becoming one of my favorites.
Yeah, I love these tunes that they can be 5 minutes long, but they're still interesting, even though not really much changes.
Yep.
They're so good. The groove is so good that you can just get locked in on it. How do you come across music mostly?
From a variety of sources, I would say. I'd say the most common one is I really like SoundCloud's algorithm as far as when you start a radio on a track. You know, you find a track you like, or you find an artist that you like, or whatever is inspiring you. Kind of let that radio play, and I just kind of dig through that, and it's fairly good at keeping things within what you're looking for.
Yeah, I dive into some of my favorite artists' like songs.
Yeah,
and then go from there, go to the related tracks and dig through that.
Yep.
It's surprisingly good. Mm-hmm. So how did you use this song to inspire the other one, your original?
It's kind of interesting because if you listen to it, it stands apart as its own song for sure. I think the elements that I drew from this one were what you were saying about how a song can be 5 minutes long, but it's very groovy, it doesn't become repetitive. The drums and the way the drums are super simple. There's not a ton of layers going on, and they just carried through really the whole song. So the focus of this song in my mind was drums, vocal, and just like kind of a solid bass line. Almost like, I don't want to call it a club utility track, but it is very club focused. My first kind of time approaching writing a song specifically with like playing it out in a club environment.
Yeah, no, I think that's important. I feel like I hear a lot of songs that can't decide what they are, and they end up being nothing almost. So yeah, I think it helps glue the tracks together.
Definitely.
When it has like an actual reason why you're making the song.
Definitely.
No, it's really cool. Is this the kind of music that is about the Phobie project? Like, are you trying to make club tracks kind of everywhere?
It's the Phobie project initially started it was pretty broad. Anyone that's taken a peruse on my SoundCloud knows that there's a lot of different styles on there, but I think as it's kind of developed, it seems like it's kind of coming into a natural position, or where things are taking elements from clubby tracks, but also working in a lot of my own kind of influences. I'm a big fan of like using vocals and vocal chops, kind of big synth leads, big sounds with like an epic taste to it, but also keeping things a little sexy along the way,
Cool. I think that bridges us into our next tune here. This song, Loading by James Blake, that inspired the Phobie project.
It really did. I was dabbling in making electronic music before seeing James Blake live. Saw him live. I'd listened to his music leading up to it, but kind of the live effect that this specific song had on me, where it was really a perfect blend of like, you could play this at a dance floor, but also it has a lot of emotion and a lot of weight and meaning behind it.
Wherever I go, I'm only as good as my mind, which is only good if you're mine, which is only good if you're mine.
Wherever I go, I'm only as good as my mind. loading, I'm still loading, I'm still loading. Pull back my fringe, exposing, exposing, exposing. It's something you should know.
Loading by James Blake. That's a really sick song, dude. It's like kind of weird.
It's super weird, and one of the many reasons why I really love that song and James Blake in general.
It was like you could hear the progression and everything, like in your music too. Not really a ton changing either, besides that weird synthy thing at the end that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's super cool. So tell me about your background in music. You didn't start with dance music, did you?
I did not. I started long time ago, initially kind of getting into, I feel like what every musician in high school and middle school gets into, it's some kind of a pop punk / metal phase, you know?
Yeah.
Did that for a little bit, kind of just not fell out of love with the music, but just moved on creatively. I'd say a large portion of my musical background is playing in different psych rock bands, different kind of, I want to say, dream pop. I was in a dream pop band for a string of years, and
cool.
We were decently popular in San Diego. But yeah, I'd say most recently psych rock. Lots likes of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, and Tame Impala, Fuzz.
Nice. You said you told me this off, but you play guitar, right?
I do. I play guitar, bass. Try and play the keyboard, even though. Yeah. And just I kind of, and a variety of other like weird instruments. I really love different instruments. Like I have a thing called a mountain dulcimer, which is a really interesting droney instrument.
Cool.
But yeah, any kind of new thing I can get my hands on and learn.
Nice. Do you think that's been helping you bridge that gap into dance music?
I think it has. I think the biggest contributing factor to my dance music is kind of having a decent grasp around structure and like you were saying, cohesive ideas and kind of also leaning into like the weirdness, I think, a little bit, especially from the psych rock scene. It's very weird. But yeah, embracing different takes on certain traditional sounds, basically.
Have you like struggled with anything because like you're used to doing this in psych rock and all that, and it just doesn't work in dance music? Oh
yeah, absolutely. I think earlier on in my production history with electronic is kind of was that cohesive kind of sound in ways where I really wanted things to sound super huge and epic and have like this big overarching story and a grand finale, you know, which is great, and a lot of electronic music is like that. But I think the dance part of it, took me a little while to figure out, weirdly enough, and learning how to make kind of a very structured groove interesting for 3, 4, 5 minutes. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Any of like the production side of things, like I'm sure you have to EQ a guitar differently than you do a synth. Yeah, no, definitely. I think the biggest like thing that I've learned in producing electronic is it can and often does require a level of precision, mainly because a lot of the sounds are created virtually or processed virtually, and yeah, EQing guitars, working with live instruments and recording mic'd instruments is a completely different thing, where you sometimes want a lot of like low end mud, or you want a lot of grit, or you want things to sound purposely dirty in a way, which is a thing in electronic too. But I think overall there is a certain level of like, well, yeah, I have to kind of get into the sounds on a more granular level than I would if I were tracking with a band. Yeah. No, it's definitely like my experience too. Like, when you're recording a guitar, you're trying your damnedest to make it sound as good as possible. And then when you're working with a synth, you're trying to mess it up as much as you can to make it not sound like a straight synth. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's you have like the init preset and you want to move as far away from the init preset as you can. There's been times though, man, like I've like had a project crash and then I'll come back and everything is in the init preset and it sounds better. Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think, a lot of my favorite songs after listening back with a more critical ear after producing for so long, I'm like, that is, a three voice unison saw wave with just the whole time. It's very simple. Yeah, it's crazy what just songwriting can do. Yeah, absolutely. Outside of sound design. Part of my show here is I have the guests bring an underground artist. I make them bring someone that has less than 30K monthly listeners. Who'd you bring? What can you tell us about him? Yeah, I had brought this guy called Altrice. I stumbled upon him 2 years ago at a show. I went to see another artist called Arc Patrol. He came through and Altrice was opening for him. And he was just playing. It was a DJ set, but he was playing a lot of stuff that I would play, that I listened to. He played a lot of Floating Points songs, which I'm a big fan of. Not a lot of people are. Floating Points in his own lane is super popular, but not a lot of the people have heard of him. And I was just super grooving to his set and waiting outside. He went to go pack his gear out. I was out there smoking and he popped in and we just chatted for a little while, kind of asked him about his project and his scene. He came back from Arizona actually and was considering moving to San Diego, so I was just like telling him like, there's this and that going on. And so I started looking into his project more, and one of the first things I noticed was on his Instagram and his SoundCloud he's followed by Fortet, which was crazy to me because not like the biggest artist in the world, under a certain amount of plays, but listening into it more and getting more into Fortet, I can definitely see like why. He really encapsulates that groove element that I really like. The way that he can have a song progress and be the same thing for a long time, but also develop in its own ways. Cool. Well, we've been hyping him up, so let's get into it. This is Altrice Yoni.
Baby.
And that was Yoni by Altrice. Dude, that's a banger. It reminds me of like 90s house music core. Like, you know the meme that's been going around with like Charlie Sheen and they put this like the old cigarette commercial or something.
Yeah.
I can totally hear that in this.
Absolutely.
No, it's super sick. Well, we're coming to a close here. Tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of music out on Spotify. You can find a lot of my stuff on SoundCloud. On Instagram, I am ph0.bi. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, SoundCloud, on Spotify, the same, Phoebe, with a 0 as an O. And surprisingly, Phoebe was taken, believe it or not. But yeah, I would love for you guys to check me out. I have some new releases coming up, so exciting stuff in the works.
Cool. Well, we're gonna get into this guest mix by Phoebe with a 0 here. What do we got coming?
This is kind of an interesting set. I spent a good amount of time kind of choosing the flow that I wanted this to go into. We're gonna start off with maybe some more groove-centric tracks, maybe a little bit more slow build. It's a set where you're gonna have to kind of work for it a little bit and for a payoff, but it does pay off, so I'm very excited for this.
long line, but you don't care because you can hear the thump, bit of that rhythm.
Men in the hour bigger than, badder than rhythm, I get you jiggling. Different hand, men in the boat, the middle man. Let me land, ready, set time, we killer dance. Silly band, some of them I'm fit. Hold it down if you ain't got a clue. Mobile phones in the air if you do. Pull up the rhythm, cause the rhythm got slew. Trust me, daddy, man, I done up on June. 4 bars, got 'em on a hype, why hate? Ahead of the curve, work great, I rate. Steady with it, I bring you the vibe I make. Heavy with it, I give you the life I take. Roll up another, everybody want smoke it. Wind up, them I wind up, a gal know this. Line up for the times up with the coldest. Them are the best to get focused. Big, ayy, too big for them. Energy louder send. Level up now to 10. Yo, telling them I'm fit, shelling off our willing. Yo, setting up out the ends, killing the sound again. Yo, milling it out, we're big, ayy, too big for them. Energy louder send, level up now to 10. Yo, telling them I'm fit, shelling off our willing. Yo, setting up out the ends, killing the sound again. do this. Bad gal and days, every do this, do this. Come back, you better do this, do this. Bad gal and days, every do this, do this. You better do this. Back it up again, back it up again, back it up, back it up. Bad gal and days, every do this. You better do this, do this. Bad gal and days, every do this, do this. Come again, you better do this, do this. Bad gal and days, every do this, do this. You better back it up again. Back it.
Hey, this is Phoebe, and you're listening to Hot Key Radio on Wild One.
Если это знала мой факт.